episode of Just a Bit Outside. I'm your host, Steve Ely, and along with me, as always, my co-host, Wes Cook.
Go Birds.
Yeah, they looked,
No, that was an ugly win, man. That was an ugly, ugly game today.
but it's a win.
It's a win, yeah. I'll take an ugly win over an ugly L every day. So,
I mean, turnovers hurt you guys
early, man, it was rough. It was rough going today, for sure. But Birds pulled it out, needed to pull it out. I mean, just a lot of stupid decisions early on, too. Like, Sirianni had opportunities to kick field goals, not going for it. Going for it on fourth down a couple of times, like trying to recreate the tush push with that little out route with Saquon. It was just bad play calling, and just we were very fortunate defense showed up today in a big, big way. That really was the difference maker today.
Defense looked good today.
Both defenses really look good, honestly. I mean, you can't scoff at what the Saints did defensively today. They took advantage of the turnovers when they could. It kept them in the game, really. Bad play calling by the Birds, and just not capitalizing on the opportunities to score when we had them. Otherwise, I mean, the Eagles could have kind of walked out with this one. But that's not what happened today. They had to really grind this one out today.
They did. They got the W. The question while we're on the Eagles, the question I asked you earlier via text, what do the Birds have to do for Nick to keep his job?
Just play competitive football and get better each week. Right. Seriously, that's all they got to do. I mean, there's not much else that is expected of them, honestly.
Yeah, my question is, if they miss the playoffs,
they miss the playoffs. I think you're looking for a new coach. 100%.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide. Like, I think a definite miss and he's out.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong at all. I mean, you missed the playoffs with the roster they put together. I mean, granted, you're talking about injuries racked up today.
Oh.
Lane Johnson went out with a concussion. He was puking on the sidelines. That dirty hit that Devontae Smith took today was not good. It was dirty. I don't know, no rhyme or reason for that tackle. Part of it's on the officials. The officials should have blew that thing dead. He was going backwards for like 2 seconds, and they never blew it dead. It's like, what are you doing?
Nope.
It's just and no A.J. Brown, of course, again this week. The hopes is he'll be back next week. He's a big part of everything we do on offense. So, in the last 2 weeks offensively, you can clearly see that we're struggling.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Without him.
Big time.
Yeah. So
because, I mean, you're pretty much keying in on Devontae in the pass game.
Yes.
And you're not having to really worry about anybody else. I mean, Saquon can catch. We need that. You guys need that third guy to, like.
Goddard stepped up today.
Huge.
170 yards, 10 catches. Goddard was huge today. Thank God for Goddard today. Yeah, we needed him. I mean, Barkley was big today, too. In moments, Jalen was good. When he needed to make a play and get us in the right direction, he did it. So, fortunate to walk out with a W today, for sure. Your boys look good today.
I missed that one.
Yeah, the Packers, they were successful today. Saw Malik Willis go back to Tennessee and put on a show.
Looked like the guy they should have kept.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what he had, 70 yards on the ground, 200 yards in the air. Just a very efficient game for him today. No crazy mistakes or anything like that. Just kept at it, and the fact that they were a 3-point dog was weird to me.
I didn't get that either.
No, I mean, the Titans haven't shown me anything that said that they were going to come out and
do anything.
Right, yeah.
I mean, they looked horrible the game one against Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately, if it wasn't for, wasn't for the play of Will Levis, Chicago wouldn't have won that game.
No.
Oh, what else?
So, I mean, and other surprising stuff. The Panthers switched quarterbacks this week, and apparently that's all they need to do to start the year.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Crazy ridiculous.
Very much so. I don't understand it. The Raiders, especially with that big win against the Ravens, defensively they can be very good, but today they are not. This one they're playing in Vegas too. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's that one's a tough one to understand all around. Gardner's not having a good day. Andy Dalton's got 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, you see, this offense is new with Dalton. They have like a whole resurgence in Carolina.
It's like a complete confidence changer in them.
It very much is. It's like we have a competent guy under center. And Aaron Dalton has had Andy Dalton's had a solid career.
Yeah.
Has he been all over the place? Sure, but yeah, he's been. When he comes in and fills in spots, he's been solid, and you see it right now. You're wondering why they didn't make this move earlier. I get that you want to give your young quarterback the confidence, the opportunity to perform, but he hasn't shown you anything.
Nothing. There's usually a glimpse of something from these guys.
Right, that says, "Oh, wait, this is what we're gonna get."
Yeah.
We just keep investing, keep
working,
trying to get these opportunities for him, and this is what we'll get out of him. But right now, every time he's under center in a game, he's just it's like he hasn't played the position before. Sometimes
he looks like a guy that it just lost all confidence. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I feel like, I said I wouldn't have took him, but I feel like he can play better than this.
I agree.
Like, I don't know if it was just too much thrown on him last year. I mean, we've said it the entire time. I mean, you don't have to start a young guy like that. Don't need it. I mean, he just struggled, and you watched him like melt down essentially. But maybe next time, maybe a change of environment would be good for him. But I don't know. Rumors floating around that there have been inquiries on whether or not they would trade him.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point. He needs a change of scenery, something just completely different. Maybe someone else to kind of groom him. Maybe a more talented pieces around him.
Yeah, I mean
that would like offensively, like the O-line, for instance.
Yeah, well, the O-line can be better, but when you see Andy Dalton come off the bench.
But this guy's a seasoned vet, too.
I get it. But if you look, I mean, he's playing against a very good defense.
Right.
We both agree the Raiders' defense is solid.
Yeah.
And they're scoring points. I mean, the pieces, like...
this is kind of what the Panthers have been missing because, we talked about how the Panthers' defense can be okay. It's not a bad defense when they're, not on the field the majority of the game.
What the Panthers' defense remind me of that starting pitcher that gets like 0 run support.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. There's no points on the board to help them, and they're not talented enough to do it themselves. Like what was it? 2001 Hurricanes.
Oh,
we had that. Yeah.
Oh Lord, the team that would have went 8-4 if they hadn't scored a single offensive touchdown.
Right. That's nuts.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not that.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I would like to see Bryce Young get an opportunity elsewhere, or just to maybe at some point that
just get him settled. Hey, look, let's kind of start this process from scratch.
Yeah.
You've only been in the league 1 year. you probably got rushed into playing when you really probably didn't need to yet.
No.
You didn't have exactly the pieces you needed around him. I mean, the Miles Sanders deal was a bust.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Chuba Hubbard's taking the majority of the carries here.
Yeah. I thought Thielen was good. Just didn't have anything outside of Thielen.
No.
They go out and get Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Who apparently played great today.
He's got 6 catches, 106 yards, and a tutty. Yeah. So yeah, he's having himself a day for sure.
So I mean, like, just sit him down. Start from scratch.
Well, that's the whole thing. He hasn't really learned how to be a starting quarterback in the league, how to prepare for on a week basis, how to just learn from somebody. Where's the leadership role for him at in that quarterback room?
It was super dysfunctional last year.
Yes.
I mean, essentially. I mean, I personally believe that nobody wanted him but Tepper.
Well, that was the case. I mean, obviously. That's been what has kind of come out.
So I wonder if, like, it was a lot of, like, we're not going to put our best effort into this guy, even though you could have. How about just not start him last year?
Well, yeah, because then you have, like, the coaching staff that doesn't agree with it. It kind of comes back to, other coaches that, were forced to get a guy like Justin Fields, for instance, who wasn't necessarily the pick for the coach in Chicago, so he wasn't happy about it. And the same kind of goes for Bryce Young. I don't think the coaching staff wanted him there, and they were forced by ownership to make a pick and make a trade for that matter, set the franchise back where you have so many other holes to fill. And you could see that, I mean, this is a one-game sample, but getting a guy like Andy Dalton in that role just to lead the way for the time being and just be that quarterback for the short term, and then go out and get your guy later on.
Well, I mean, what it helps, what Andy Dalton is doing today, granted, he's got almost 300 yards passing. But when you got a guy that can throw the ball, when you have to play defense against the pass, which no team has really had to do that.
No, because the thing with Bryce Young is he takes too long to make reads. His reads are short. And when he's making those reads, I mean, a lot of the times it's checking down, or he's missing wide open guys. There's a number of things. Sometimes he just panics and tries to get out of the pocket too quick.
Yeah.
And where he has a decent pocket at times, and he's just second guessing himself as a passer. So
he's running away from it.
Right.
Like, and it's just, I don't know. Again, I wouldn't have taken him. Too small of a guy for me.
Right. There's only been very few guys that can come in and, the shorter guys, that have been successful.
And this mic had dropped me crazy today, bro.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. We're going to have to tighten that one up, it looks like.
Yeah, it's beat right there. Anyway, we got your second favorite team getting their asses whooped today. Or should I say your first hated team?
Oh, most hated team for sure, yeah. The Cowboys, for the second week in a row, catching an ass beating. And this is kind of what I thought was going to happen. The Ravens 0-2 up against it. They needed a W in a big way. And, coming up short against Kansas City. The unfortunate loss to the Raiders last week, you knew the Ravens were going to come out and want this one.
Oh, God,
and that's the thing. You thought Dallas is, coming off an ass whooping last week. I mean, against a team that their rival just beat on the road, mind you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be another thing to be concerned about in Dallas too. It's like your division rival is, with all the mistakes they made today, still came away with a W on the road.
You don't see a funny thing?
Yeah.
Look who Baltimore's leading receiver is at the
moment. With one catch because he had that big one. How many has he dropped?
I don't know. Derrick Henry has looked like Derrick Henry today.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is having himself a day. He's 15 carries, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's the Derrick Henry we thought we were going to see here in Baltimore. And I think today, it set themselves up perfectly for it, to be honest with you. That Dallas has always been susceptible to being run on, and that is exactly what Baltimore is doing. I mean, you look at it, Lamar Jackson's only thrown the ball 11 times today. He's got 161 yards, but they're running the ball down Dallas's throat, and this is why it's 28-6 right now in the third.
Yeah, they've got 191 rushing yards. As a team, which is
it's ridiculous.
That's really all you got to do against.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what you got to do, and that's a reason why you see a team like Philly go out and bring in a Saquon Barkley. Let's just hope he stays healthy until that point. But there's not much more to talk about this game. The Ravens just look so good offensively and defensively. It's the Ravens you've come to expect.
Yeah, they played great.
They're playing fantastic. I mean, they're forcing Dak to make bad throws. They can't get anything going in the running game. So Dallas is just having a go of it today. The Dolphins and Seahawks had an eventful first quarter, and then it's just been kind of a bore since then. 17-3 is still the score after the first quarter, and we're almost done with the third. Still the same there. Of course, Tua's not there for Miami. Doubt we see him back probably even this year, if ever at this point.
Well, they're saying he did officially go on IR this week.
Yes.
He will not be back before week 8.
Right. I mean, honestly,
if he comes back.
Yeah, I'd just be shocked if he came back.
I don't know how, as a doctor, you clear him to come back.
You can't.
Like, I just don't. It's not.
Because how quickly is the next one going to happen?
Well, the more you get, the easier they are to get.
Exactly. That's the thing. We're talking 4 in a short span of time, and each one
looks worse.
Yeah, they just look bad.
Like he just went straight up.
Yeah, locked up.
Yeah. And the sad part is, it wasn't even that bad of a condition. It was more him running into.
He's not sliding. Like you said last week, the guy doesn't slide. He's not doing what he needs to do to protect himself.
No.
He's kind of got like that Michael Vick syndrome.
Maybe one day he'll figure it out, but it's going to be too late.
Yeah. Well, the Seahawks still lead 17-3 in that game, and they are driving. They're at the Miami 39 with a 1st and 10. The Niners and the Rams are playing a tight one right now. Brock Purdy has 3 touchdown passes, 15-20 for 176 at this point. Niners up 21-14. Rams need a W. They're 0-2, on the verge of 0-3. Yeah,
they are beat up pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty
bad. Like,
I mean, who's catching the ball?
Who's not hurt for them?
Yeah,
Matt Stafford and Kyron Williams. That's it.
That is it. I mean, it's pretty amazing to watch how well they're keeping with San Fran here. I think San Fran's kind of taking a step back. I mean, you saw the loss last week.
Well, I mean, they have. I mean, they're losing guys right and left, too.
Yeah, the injuries are definitely piling up there. I mean, you see Jennings today, though. He's having a hell of a day. 7 catches, 134 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
I was going to pick him up, and I got sidetracked and didn't get it.
Whoops.
Yeah.
That would have been a good pickup for today.
Yeah, but I don't know where I'd have started him.
Yeah, that's good. Do you? Maybe. In a turn of events for the Cardinals, I mean, the Cardinals have been putting points on the board, but only 10 today against that Lions defense. It's 20-10 down there in Phoenix. The Lions, of course, have the lead. Goff having a decent day, 15 of 18 for 169 and 2 touchdowns. Gibbs has 13 touches for 80 yards. And Amon St. Brown, 5 receptions, 52 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep.
Lions look like they're getting back on track here in this game. Kind of what you expect from this team. But, I mean, so far it's just been wild, right?
The whole season's been wild. It's the NFL. We're seeing things you didn't think you'd see happen.
Yeah. I mean, just week after week. I mean, we were thinking this Carolina game was easy money. Raiders coming off a big win last week. Raiders look like they kind of put it together, and whoops. Then you see, the Saints go 2-0, have the most proficient offense in the first 2 weeks, and score 13 points today. So, or 12 points, excuse me. Then you've got a Giants team and a Browns team that played today too, and those two teams really is hard to make anything of. The Browns just don't have offense.
That's because the Browns need to sit.
Deshaun needs to sit.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done. He's cooked, man.
He is trash.
Mm-hmm.
He has been trash the entire contract. Dude literally stole $240 million.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, stole it. Good on him for stealing it, but
I mean,
they need to either. It's sad when I think they would be better off starting Jameis Winston.
You figure it's that time, right?
At some point, you got to make it. At some point, you got to make that decision.
Did they put him in today? I want to say he got in today. Nope, he did not. He did have 2 rushes for a yard.
That means he got in for a minute. He just didn't throw the ball.
Did not throw. But, I mean, look at Deshaun Watson's stat line. 21 of 37. 196, 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 8 times today.
Got sacked 8 times by the Giants.
Yeah. QBR of 27.2 today.
Ugh. Awful.
Yeah, you're not looking good. Not looking good. You got to make that move. You got to do the Carolina thing and see if you could rejuvenate an offense that should be fairly good.
Look what they did last year with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, played fantastic.
Yeah, and you're taking an L to this Giants team. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Who at least could kick field goals this week.
They could. They did take 3 extra points today, so I think that assisted in their W this week.
Only team in history to score 3 touchdowns
and lose. That's nuts. So, score 3 touchdowns and not allow a touchdown.
Not allow a touchdown,
right?
Yes.
And
lose.
Right. That's wild. The Bears offensively in the second half look good. I don't know why you have a rookie throwing the ball 52 times in a game.
Insane is what that is.
Granted he's going to have the yardage. He had 363 yards, but he threw the ball 52 times. I was like, did y'all forget you have DeAndre Swift?
I think so.
I mean, 52 times. I mean, I bet the Colts didn't even bring a rush. They did sack him 4 times today.
Did have 2 picks, though, so...
Yeah, Swift had 13 carries for 20 yards. They just couldn't get anything on the ground.
28 of 63 as a team.
Yeah. Oof. Jonathan Taylor had himself a day. 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Anthony Richardson just looks kind of blah. 10 of 20. 167 yards and 2 picks today. I mean, a QBR less than Deshaun Watson today at 17.5. That's rough. Not what they expected out of their quarterback. Thank God for Jonathan Taylor, huh?
Right?
And that defense, apparently. Something you haven't really said about the Colts.
Then the biggest surprise of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you because this one killed my bet early on. So the parlay was screwed.
Who knew Sam Darnold could play so well?
I mean, 34-7. The Texans lose to the Vikings. Very much an off game, I think, for Houston here. It was on the road. Sam Darnold, he did okay. 17 of 28, 181 yards, but 4 fucking touchdowns. That's huge.
It is.
Dude, that's crazy. Aaron Jones had a day.
Yeah, 19 carries, 102 yards on the ground.
Yeah, over 5 a clip there. That's big. Justin Jefferson finally reached the end zone here. 81 yards on 6 catches. Aaron Jones, productive catching the ball today, too.
Yeah.
5 catches, 46 yards.
to TD.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Take it.
Man, I totally expected this to be
a blowout, really, for the Texans. I thought. But here's Minnesota sitting at 3-0. And do we say this is an improved team?
Yeah. I mean,
because that's a big win at home. The Texans are a good football team.
That's a huge win at home for them.
I mean, just went out there. I mean, they shut them out in the first half. And to only allow 1 touchdown from a guy like C.J. Stroud, and with the weapons that he has, I mean, the 3 wide receivers, and not to mention
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon's good. It's
just crazy.
That is weird.
Just insane.
I think I want to say Mixon was out today though, because Cam Akers was your leading toucher.
Mixon may be out for a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, he got hurt last week at the end of that game. So, the other 2 games today, one was a big surprise. The Broncos didn't know they had it in them, especially with the Bucs being 2-0, and just seeing Baker do his thing. Today they struggled at home, mind you.
It's very surprising to me, honestly. I didn't think, like you said, Denver had it in them. I kind of looked at Denver as in a rebuild.
Right, like Bo Nix hasn't looked especially great so far. So it just I didn't expect it. But yeah, they came out 126-7 on the road. That's a big win for the Broncos there.
Yeah, but Nix didn't look great today. But
No.
I mean, he was efficient,
Right,
so to speak.
Didn't turn the ball over.
No, 25-36, QBR of 80.5.
Yeah,
But
that's what you need right there. The other game was the Steelers and the Chargers. The Steelers starting 2-0, and the Steelers were 2-0. The Chargers were 2-0 going into this game.
yeah,
And Justin Fields is doing,
doing enough to win.
Exactly. He's getting the job done. I mean, I think this was the smart start anyway. They were fortunate for Russell Wilson to get hurt early.
I don't know how you bring Russell back.
I don't think you do. I don't think you think Russell's going to be the starter going forward at all. Even because I think he was healthy this week. And, Justin's just kind of, if you're 3-0 at this point in the year, you keep rocking with him.
Herbert did get hurt in this game, re-aggravated the injury.
Yeah. Well, he was questionable coming in.
Yeah.
So that was a problem. So Heineke had to take over, which, he didn't really get much of an opportunity there. But, yeah, when you're already the thing was they were up at halftime and then just kind of lost control of it in the second half.
But Steelers are actually the surprise team, one of the surprise teams for me.
Yeah, between them and Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, big surprises. So, this is the way the season's wrapped up. The Jets are now 2-1 because Thursday night they put a whooping on the Patriots. I didn't really see that happening, but yeah, I think the Patriots kind of
defense played fantastic.
Yeah, the Patriots have come back to earth. I think here, quick win early on, and then it's like, this is what we are.
They've got some work to do.
Yeah,
like I don't see them being in a hurry. Mayo is part of that Belichick tree. They'll get the right pieces in. They'll spend money wisely like they always do.
Right.
Defense will be probably pretty good. They're just going to struggle on offense until they get it figured out.
Yep.
I don't think they need to rush May in yet. There's no point. You don't have any weapons.
Oh, no, not at all. Absolutely don't need to. It would make 0 sense. So, the night game tonight is the Chiefs at the Falcons. Mahomes, so far for the year, 442 yards in the first 2 games, 3 picks, but with 3 touchdowns. Somehow Rice is playing football.
How is he playing? How is he not on that list? How is he not on the league exemption list and playing?
I'm shocked because anytime someone, makes the badge look bad.
I mean, he's got
they're
isn't it one felony driving charge along with several misdemeanors?
Yeah. You just think, but I mean, this is the NFL's darling now, right? It is the Chiefs. The Chiefs are bringing in the viewers. It's almost the protection for that team to allow for them to stay successful. And they know if Rice is gone, that's gonna
hurt him.
It's gonna hurt him for sure. Yeah, I mean, he's probably Mahomes' favorite target through first 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So
it ain't probably it is.
Yeah. So
it is without a doubt.
The Monday night we have a double header starting at 7:30 tomorrow. I guess we can go back first though. What do you got in that game?
Tonight?
Yeah.
What's the spread?
Spread on this one, according to ESPN, is Kansas City is a 3-point favorite. Over under is 46.5.
I actually like Atlanta +3.
If they
home dogs,
yeah, home dog. Yeah, it's gonna be close. I'd probably buy 0.5 point and make it 2.5.
Yeah.
I just don't like just that 3 can just that late field goal or that just that tight score leading up and you just have the field goal lead. Like I think you buy 1.5 points.
The way they're playing, too, the way both teams have played, I would almost go under on that too.
Right? Yeah, you're not seeing a whole lot of scoring from either team at this point or this juncture of the season. I'm going to go with the Chiefs because it's a primetime game. And, I mean, they've been the beneficiary of how many calls.
They get all the calls, man. All of them.
They capitalize on mistakes. They're a very fortunate team. And you kind of got to ride with that lucky deal that they have going for them right now, at least in my opinion. I think the Chiefs money line is probably a solid bet here.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Not terrible.
Monday night doubleheader. Jags 0-2 look abysmal. Jags look like one of the worst football teams in the league right now. And they are on the road in Buffalo. And Buffalo turned up the heat last week. And I think you're going to continue to see that. The Bills are going to cook.
Buffalo's kind of surprised me. I kind of felt that they were going to take a step back.
Yeah,
because I'm still not quite sure about their receivers.
No, that was the question mark coming into the year. But now you're talking about this defense has stepped up, and this defense is playing as good as it ever has.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, and then, just the way that James Cook has run the football, Josh Allen's done well. I mean, it's the Bills look good right now.
They do surprisingly.
Yeah, so they're going to keep cooking.
What's the line on this one? What's the ESPN guy?
Buffalo's got 5.5 point favorite. Over under is 45.5. Jags ain't scoring, man.
I'd probably take Buffalo -5.5.
Yeah, you might even want to look at the under on this 45.5.
True.
Yep. The 8:15 game is the Commanders, Redskins, Washington team.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, against the 0-2 Bengals team. Bengals are 7.5 point favorites in this one. Over under is 46.5. Haven't really seen a lot of offense from either one of these teams yet. Is this the week that Cincinnati finally turns it on?
I think it could be with Higgins coming back this week.
Yeah, you got Higgins back. Gesicki was playing a huge role for them while he was out. Higgins helps that offense a ton. Yeah, we talked about A.J. Brown being missing for the Eagles and what kind of role he plays. Higgins allows for Jamar Chase to be a bigger role.
Yeah.
And and then, of course, Higgins is a solid wide receiver himself. So.
Well, I mean, Higgins arguably on other franchises would be a legit number one.
Could be. Yeah, I agree. So,
and, I mean, you got both of those guys. It's just healthy.
Yes.
It's got to make life easier on you at some point.
Yeah, I think this is the turnaround for Burrow and the Bengals tonight. 7.5 spread, probably very doable for them. I think the Bengals cover tonight. Or tomorrow night, excuse me.
I do too.
Yep. Jumping in next week. Started off with a Thursday night game. Got a short week for both the Cowboys and the Giants. Cowboys travel to New York. With the way Dallas looks right now, down 28-6 with the start of the fourth quarter. It could be a game they just come out and just demolish the Giants.
It's what they've done the last couple of years.
Yeah, and this Giants team's not good. We know that. They had a game today, but they haven't really played. The last 2 weeks, they haven't played anybody of real significance, right?
No, they haven't.
Yeah. So, that one, of course, lines aren't out on these games yet. I got to imagine the Cowboys will be a touchdown favorite.
At least 6.
Yeah, the 7.5 point mark right there is going to be my guess. We shift over into the Sunday sets of games. We're going to see starting at 1, my Birds take on the Bucks in Tampa. So back-to-back road games for the Birds. The way Tampa looked today, and the way the Birds' defense played today, could be interesting.
Could be very interesting. Could also be.
Yeah, it could be another shit show like today was. So, I mean, this NFC South, these matchups here. I mean, that's weird to get them all three in three weeks, right?
Just bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, just.
And then you get Carolina somewhere later on.
Yeah, which should be a W. But looking at this today, it's like, oh, well, we thought the Raiders were getting a W too, but that did not happen. It's just the way the Eagles are playing right now. It's going to be a close game. I just don't see the Eagles blowing anybody out right now. A.J. Brown's supposed to be back, so that's huge. We'll see if we get more about Devontae Smith after today. See if he'll be in the lineup next week. And hopefully Lane Johnson's good to go. Just depends on how severe the concussion was today. But, I mean, outside of today, Baker's looked good the first 2 weeks. Maybe it's just a bad week overall for the Bucs. And the Bucs, they always seem to get up to play the Eagles for some reason. So, and they left a bad taste in my mouth last year. So, hopefully we can return the favor to them this upcoming week.
Yeah, that was what you guys saw in the Bucs game last year was a team that was ready for their season to be over.
Yes.
They were done.
Oh, yeah, they were done. Yeah, I mean, that team was just finished.
Yeah, we're like, we started out smashing, and then we have just lost everything since.
It's probably one of the most epic collapses of a team of all time.
What, 10-0?
Yeah, started 10-0. They were 11-1 after the first 12 games.
And then finished
11
and
They didn't win a game to finish out the year. It was awful.
And then just got demolished in the playoff game. Just oof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't good. Another NFC South matchup: Saints at Falcons. Let's see if we see the improvement from the Falcons this week. Do the Saints get back to the first 2 weeks of the season offensively, or are we seeing a way to defend this Saints offense?
I think that the Eagles front line on defense, their defensive line is good. They had pressure on Carr all day today.
It was good. It was solid today.
I just don't know if Atlanta can put that kind of pressure on them.
Yeah, I don't see their line being able to pull the same thing that Jalen Carter, even Davis was in the mix today. You had Brandon Graham in the backfield today. Didn't hear Josh Sweat's name much. Didn't hear Huff much, but yeah, the guys were getting there, and I mean they held Kamara to pedestrian numbers today too. So
yeah, they did. Yes, they did. I saw a couple of runs like Kamara was just about to break it up, and like there'd be a shoestring tackle or something. Mm-hmm. Somebody would grab it and go down. Like I don't know. It's just I think, and as far as the Saints Falcons game, I think the Falcons are still trying to gel offensively.
Yes, and like I said, I think making a pick here, it really kind of depends on what we see from the Falcons tonight. Yeah, for sure. See how much that win has boosted the confidence down there. I mean, because it's a thrilling win for them. It's a big time win.
It was a big win.
Yeah, do it on the road, and it's a big thing.
I mean,
primetime spot, something Kirk's not usually doing.
I know, dude. He was primetime Kirk at that moment.
Well, yeah, late in the fourth quarter, he did what he had to do. Let's see. That'd be an interesting game next week for sure. You have the 2-1 Saints against a 2-1 Falcons or a 1-2 Falcons, and that'll probably dictate a lot of where our pick goes.
Yep.
The next slate is the Rams, who look like they're going to go to 0-3. And they'll play the Bears, 1-2 in Chicago. The one win that the Bears do have did come at home. It depends on what Matt Stafford gets back. What weapons are back next week? I don't see Nakua being back.
No, I think he's
out for a while.
Did they not put him on IR?
They may have.
I think he might actually be on IR. Which, he's out, Cup's out. Like, they legit don't have any wide receivers.
They don't. Nope.
I don't know who's leading them in receiving today, but I got to imagine it's not very good.
Was it Johnson?
Ugh.
I guess it would be Johnson that would be leading them in receiving, because what else you got?
We're going to take a look.
Yeah.
Let me just see what we got.
Big game for the Pack next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Vikings?
No, not at the Vikings. They are in Green Bay.
Oh.
Yeah, so they'll be in Lambeau.
I'll be all over that one.
Yeah, Vikings travel to Lambeau. And do we see Love make a comeback next week? Or
he was questionable this week. There was talk that he may play. I could see him coming back next week.
It'd be the one to come back for, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, as a Packers fan, it's not going to hurt my feelings if you set him one more week to let him fully recover.
Yes.
We're looking at future and not right now. You bring him back too early and he tweaks it again, and then, he's out for a few more weeks. That doesn't help.
Yeah, you don't need to rush him back, especially when you're looking at a 2-1 record coming into this one. It's not the end-all, be-all for the season. It is a divisional game, so it could become of importance later on down the road.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to look at, especially with the Lions are good. And the Bears, I mean, they could come up and beat somebody. You just don't know if they find a way to click later on in the year, and then that offense could be very potent, as we've talked about before.
If the Bears offense can get consistency from Williams, which we haven't really seen. Granted, he's only 3 games in.
Right.
What I have seen from him, though, is that what I used to do in college, the running around in the backfield, trying to extend plays. Hasn't looked so good thus far.
Hey, you got these athletes out here now. It's a different world for him. He's not quicker than everybody on the field like he used to be.
No.
Yeah, it makes it a much more challenging adjustment.
He's not playing Cal's defensive line.
No.
I mean,
and mention, throwing 52 times today. It's like
that's crazy.
That's ridiculous for a rookie.
That is insane.
There's zero reason for that. Yeah, so that looks like your best 1 o'clock matchup next week. The Vikings at the Pack. I like it. That should be very interesting. I'll tune in a little bit on that one. You got the Steelers taking their 3-0 record on the road to Indy next week. The way the Steelers' defense has looked, the way the offense is just getting things done, I see no reason why the Steelers can't walk away from Indy with another W and be 4-0.
It's typical Steelers football.
Yeah.
We're going to play good defense. We're going to run the football.
Get shit done. Yeah. And they are. So,
and Fields is getting enough done in the passing game
to win. Yeah. They're getting enough what you like to call earlier is run support, and it's working.
Yeah.
So this slate of games they got right here is definitely boding well for them to kind of gel offensively too.
Here's the crazy thing: if you look at the Steelers' schedule, the back half of their schedule is loaded.
Yes. Yeah. No, we looked at that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they need to win these games.
Yeah, they need to set themselves up because they need to steal 1 or 2 of those late ones because.
Well, they get all their division rivals.
Yeah, at the end of the year.
And then I think, who is it, Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas City was in that mix.
And another non-division team that is supposed to be good.
Right. Well, you're going to get this Baltimore team.
Yeah. Twice.
And the Browns don't look like they're going to be much of a challenge for them this year. And then you get the Bengals, which, as of right now, you can't say much. But, this is still early. Things can change, and they can change quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting game following that one. Going to be the Broncos at the Jets. With what you saw with the Broncos today, it's like, maybe there is something here. But the Jets defense did, like you said, against the Patriots on Thursday, looked fantastic. They're coming off of kind of a mini bye, as you would want to call it, playing Thursday. So they've got more rest than the Broncos coming into this game. So Jets should probably handle the Broncos, especially at home.
Oh, absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked bad either.
No, he hadn't looked bad. He hadn't really needed to look great.
No.
The defense is...
The defense is handling the business.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes,
the defense is taking care of everything right now. And when you got that happening, as well as Breece Hall coming into his own, you got Garrett Wilson that seems to kind of have a resurgence.
I don't know if you watched how much of the Thursday night game you watched, but that catch that Wilson had for his touchdown.
I saw it, yeah.
That whole, hey, oh, God, I'm going to fall out of bounds. They got stopped just in time to get the ball over the line.
Yeah.
Was insane.
It was impressive.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But what we got after that?
Man, I'm looking down this schedule, and I'm like, what am I going to bet next week? Like, betting next week looks like it's going to suck. Because the Bengals go to Carolina.
And you don't know what either one really has.
You don't. Like, what Bengals team's going to show up? What Panthers team's going to show up? I just don't know how to bet it next week. Like, am I? This is one I'm staying clear from, unless I just see something from Cincinnati tomorrow night that's just, amazing. Like they put it together, then maybe. But right now, it's like, I don't know, man. It's a tough slate of games to cook up a parlay that might be make some money.
That's one of those ones you just make some picks and pray.
Yep, exactly. You got the Jags at the Texans. I think you see Texans come back home and they're just going to annihilate
handle
Jags.
business.
Yeah, I don't see the Jags being good at all. This team, you pay your quarterback in the offseason, you're expecting so much more coming into the year. You just for a team that's been in the playoffs and had some kind of success here recently, it's just not.
I don't think they have any receivers. I think that's a very weak part of their.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
Who is it? Christian Kirk? Is that their best receiver?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Evan
Letting
Ingram?
Ridley go was weird. Like, didn't expect it. It was just seemed like a must sign.
A must re-sign, yeah.
You got the Commanders going to the Cardinals, starting those 4:00 games next week.
That's when you don't know what team's showing up.
No, you don't. I mean, because the Commanders they're not a good team, but they're gelling. They're still learning a new system for a new quarterback, and it's their one win is not impressive.
No.
So
7 field goals.
Yeah.
For the win.
So, and the Cardinals can put up points, and the Cardinals can do damage, but for whatever reason, who knows?
They are struggling with it today, sir.
They are. Yeah.
I need that clock to tick out on that game a whole lot faster.
The 20-10. But, I mean, the Lions do have the ball. Carolina is just whooping the Raiders.
Yeah, that game's over.
Yeah.
Now, I need the guy I'm playing in fantasy in our league is literally riding on Arizona and Detroit right now.
Oh, like all his points are coming for those two.
He's got Murray, Harrison Jr., Gibbs, and Laporta playing right now.
Yeah, you need that one to end.
I need that one just
like
to tick. Keep ticking on down. Let's roll.
Keep running the football, Lions.
unless Kyler Murray wants to throw some pick sixes, then
There
I'd be
you go.
completely about that with Detroit's defense sitting over here.
Right, yeah, that would go well for you.
Anyway, sorry.
Now, Patriots travel to San Francisco for a 4:00 game. I think the Niners are going to walk all over them there.
It could be.
Yeah, that one you might want to bet on, at least on the money line, depending on what kind of spread you have there for the Niners.
Raiders, Browns, that's another one of those toss-ups.
Yeah, that one's a tough one to tell because, I mean, the Raiders losing to what was perceived to be the worst team in football. And just on their home field, mind you. I mean, Carolina's put up 36 against this defense. I mean, Minshew looks like crap.
The old red rifle, man. It was the red rifle.
Minshew's not in.
They got O'Connell in?
Yeah, I think they got O'Connell in there.
Oh, Lord. If you got 2 quarterbacks in the NFL, you got no quarterback.
You don't have a good one. I mean, just after last week and that high they were riding on, it's so weird to see this.
Yeah. I don't know. Football is...
This is a strange one, ain't it?
It's been strange. It's been strange all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Chiefs and Chargers. Chiefs and Chargers next week in the 4:25 slot.
Probably going to go Chiefs.
Chiefs because the Chargers got what?
Well, I don't think...
Herbert might not play.
May not play, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be... Ooh. J.K. Dobbins has run the hell out of the football, though.
He has.
Yeah. But, yeah, I guess you got to stick with the Chiefs there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They got fortunate in getting the Chargers without Herbert. Your late night game next week is the Bills at the Ravens. That'll be a hell of a matchup. Especially with the way the Ravens look against Dallas right now. The way the Bills have been playing, that's a good primetime game.
It's a great primetime game.
Yeah, I'm interested in next Sunday for sure. Next Sunday night. Another doubleheader on the Monday night slate, though, next week.
What's up with that?
I don't know what the doubleheaders on Mondays are about. Are they going to do this all year? What's the deal?
I don't.
I mean, you get a boring one. It might as well not even be on the slate. You got the Titans at the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's really tuning into that.
Let's flex that thing back to Sunday at 1.
Yeah, can we flex that out of the Monday night slot? Tickets as low as $28 to watch that one in Miami. I mean, that's a cheap game to get to when you talk about an NFL ticket. And then the other one is the Seahawks at the Lions. That should be a very solid matchup. The one to watch on next Monday will be that one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Jared Goff trying to turn it around. More picks than tutty passes so far in the year, so needs to get that squared away.
He'll get it cleaned up.
Yeah. I know you got a little love for the Lions in your heart right now.
I do, but I shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Absolutely not. I would not at all.
I'm an appreciator, man. I'm an appreciator.
Fair enough. Well, that'll close us out for the NFL. Let's jump into some college football. A little bit of action this week.
Yes, sir.
You had a hell of a game Friday night. I didn't catch any of it. Win the OT, though. Illinois at Nebraska. Illinois is 4-0 now. 4-0. Squeaked that one out in OT. Illinois looks like a solid team.
Possible. I don't think they're a contender yet.
Not yet, because we don't know what Nebraska is ultimately. But we do have a lot of high hopes for what Nebraska can be. Yeah. So, but big win for the Illini there. Big win, good start to the conference slate. So 1-0 in the Big Ten. Let's see how they match up against your perennial powers. Then we can start knighting them, per se.
Yeah.
Get to see more of Arch Manning this weekend. We got to see. Still looks the part. Texas just wants more and more of him.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks for Ewers because he'd probably be doing something in a similar fashion here, right? Against these two teams they've played recently.
I mean, Arch made mistakes. He had a couple of turnovers, a couple of interceptions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it was also, poor play calling. You're beating the wheels. Why are you making this kid throw so many times?
Right. Yeah. I mean, 29 throws and scoring 51 points. It's like, okay.
Running back had a big day. What do you have? 130 or close to it?
Yeah. He had 124. Yeah, and 3 touchdowns. Blue only carried the ball 25 times, but that's impressive.
Well, I mean, I got to imagine they were playing on short fields all day. If
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine it was.
They ain't
a
putting
very difficult task for them.
No.
For the majority of that game.
No.
Yeah.
Ohio State did their normal damage to Marshall.
Yeah.
The highest payroll in college sports.
What do you expect? He should be good.
They're going for it. Really and truthfully, like
your SEC favorite.
Yeah,
smashed.
Look good.
Yeah, they smashed.
Look good.
I mean, Georgia Southern's nothing to really write home about.
No, it's not their right home. But they did what they're supposed to do.
You handle business. You look good defensively. You only allowed 13 points. And you probably had a fun, confidence-building game out of that one.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. The darts look pretty good.
Probably the biggest confidence builder is the Tennessee win over Oklahoma in Norman.
Yeah. Welcome to the SEC.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you kind of predicted this, though. You said, like, Oklahoma's going to be in for a rude awakening, and Tennessee looks all the part right now.
Oh, they do. I mean, the SEC.
Got your Siri going or something over there?
Something popped up on me. But, no, the SEC, has, God, I think 5 teams in the top 10.
Yep. Another one was Missouri. Surprising that they struggled at home against Vandy.
Struggled at home against Vandy, struggled on the road against Boston College.
Right.
It's making me wonder
went to OT.
What are they going to see in, when they start playing their meat of their schedule.
Yeah. Now, once you get into the hard part of the SEC, you got A&M coming up next week, or the week after next. You're going to be off this week. You travel to Bama. You get Oklahoma. You got to travel to South Carolina. Who knows what that is?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that'll tell a lot about who this Missouri team really is.
That Bama and A&M, huh? That's pretty much what they got.
Yeah, maybe the South Carolina road game.
Maybe.
Could be difficult. I mean, if you struggle with Vandy at home.
True.
I mean, you got to worry about a lot of these.
True.
Yeah. Miami put a hurting on South Florida this weekend. Penn State shut out Kent State. I think Kent State might be one of the worst football teams in the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got paid a whole lot of money, though, to get their ass whooped.
They did. They did. I'm trying not to talk about paying people to get their asses whooped. So.
Might have done that yourself.
Didn't work. Didn't work, sir.
No.
Matter of fact, you get 70 hung on you when you do it our way.
That was rough. That was rough.
Dude, it was 53-21 at halftime.
Yeah.
At halftime.
53 points.
Covered the over at half. Hell, one team just about covered the over.
Yeah, one team. By themselves. One of the bigger matchups of the weekend was Michigan and USC. I was shocked to see Michigan walk away with that one.
I was too.
Yeah. I really thought, for an opener for USC, a big welcome to the Big Ten right there.
Yeah, it is big time welcome.
Yeah, it's like, here's Michigan at home. Welcome to the big house. And hold this L.
That's it. Utah went into Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
I think that was mine and your consensus pick for the Big 12.
Yeah, that's a good start in the right direction, knocking off one of your biggest opponents in the Big 12 for the year. Taking that W is huge, and then Kansas State taking an ugly-ass L to BYU.
BYU 4-0.
4-0, 1-0 in the Big 12, and, I mean, putting points on the board.
Oof.
Kansas State, we talked about how competitive the Big 12 would be, but amongst them, Oklahoma State and Utah.
Yeah.
That's
huge.
surprising. A little bit surprising.
Propelled BYU into the top 25.
Yeah. I mean, at a 4-0 record, playing in a Power 5 conference or Power 4.
It did. I know for a fact.
Oh, they did get in there?
Yeah, they're right like 22nd, 23rd, somewhere.
Oh, good.
22nd.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah. LSU handled UCLA this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tied at halftime, but then they came out and shut out UCLA in the second half. So they took care of that business. Notre Dame back in the win column with a 28-3 win over Miami of Ohio. Another one of those teams that you look at and you're like, that's probably one of the worst teams in college football.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, they're now 0-3.
Pretty bad, and you only dropped 28 on them.
Right, that's true. That is true. I mean, you only had 14.5 against this team.
Yeah.
You only scored 14 in the second half. It's just, you would like to see a lot more offensive production out of this team.
The next top 25 matchup, this is one of the games I picked and lost on.
Yeah, you had Georgia Tech covering?
I had Georgia Tech plus like 9.5 or something.
Oh, and they won by 11.
Well, the one time I put money on Georgia Tech to be the time they play like shit.
Well, it could be worse. You could have been NC State.
I had money on NC State, too.
Yeah, I really thought NC State was going to hang in there, especially after just getting whopped last week.
Yeah.
And then they just came out flat as they could.
I think I got them at plus 17.5.
Yeah.
Somewhere along that lines, and I was like, yeah, dude, that's going to be good. That should be good. You ain't got to be in the you just got to stay close enough.
Right.
And no, that game was ugly. What was it, 42-0 at halftime? 42-7?
It was 45 to 7.5.
Ouch.
Yep. And Clemson, pulled everybody in the third quarter. They had 59 at the end of the third.
That's crazy. And then another reason why, Dabo's still at Clemson, and it's just, hey, don't forget, we are Clemson.
He's still going to be good because he's still recruiting well. He doesn't lose a lot to the transfer portal anyway because that's just the culture he's built down there.
Oh, his guys love him.
Yeah. So
they love to go there and play.
Yeah, no, that's true. You don't see a lot of guys leave out of Clemson either. So,
yeah.
He's just trying to bunk a system that's there, and we'll see if it works. I just don't know. But ever since the L, he's like a man on a mission. Apparently.
Yeah, he's like, no, this is not how we play. Because they were really in the game up until the second half.
Yeah.
Like their defense was playing good, and it just got to the point where I felt like their defense just got overwhelmed because the offense wasn't really doing anything.
Right. So this week coming up, you got a couple of games slated for Friday. The Friday night matchup of Virginia Tech at Miami should be a good one. Then Washington travels to Rutgers in a Big Ten matchup there.
That's some travel right there, buddy.
Yeah, it is. That 8 o'clock game for Washington.
How you feeling on the Kentucky Ole Miss game next week?
I'm thinking Ole Miss is going to cover that 17.5. If anything, Lane Kiffin scores points, right?
He does.
They're going to score points.
Playing at home?
Playing at home. It's a noon kickoff, which sucks. But the over-under is 51.5. Ole Miss might do it themselves.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Kentucky and the way they played against Georgia, is it an outlier, or is this really what this team can be? Or is it the team that showed up and got their asses whooped by South Carolina? I don't know. So I really don't know what do we pick here? What do we go with? It's a tough one.
I'm going Ole Miss to cover all day.
I agree. I don't think Kentucky does what they did with Georgia.
No.
Honestly, I don't.
Nope.
I think they found a secret formula to hold Georgia in check, and maybe that was it. Minnesota goes to Michigan. Michigan's a 10-point favorite. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Oklahoma State coming off a tough loss. Needs a big W. Kansas State coming off a tough loss.
Yeah.
Line's not out for that one yet. BYU goes to Baylor.
Baylor coming off a tough loss.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that was a tough one. They are actually a 3-point favorite in this one.
Really?
Yeah. Baylor's a 3-point favorite over BYU. I think taking BYU on the money line's my go there.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it a lot.
Nebraska gets the opportunity to bounce back at Purdue. They are a 10-point favorite there. I think they cover.
They could.
Yeah.
A couple of big matchups next week. You get Penn State and Illinois.
Yep.
Battle of two undefeated.
This is where you find out if Illinois is
It's for real.
Yeah, if they're for real.
Spread is Penn State minus 17.5.
17.5. So they're saying that discrepancy between the number 24 team in the nation
and the number 19 is 17.5.
I think you got to take Illinois.
I might would.
And the points right there. You're giving me 17.5 in a game like that? Ooh, that one looks like that's a cook right there.
Yeah. And then of course you got the biggie. The biggest game. It'll be, in my opinion, probably the biggest game of the college football season thus far. You have Bama and Georgia.
Yeah, these two don't match up every year. So Georgia is a 2.5-point favorite. They didn't play this week. This one should be fun. 7:30 kickoff.
Bama didn't play this week.
Yeah.
So both of them had off weeks going into the game.
Both should be healthy. Both should be geared up, and they've had 2 weeks to prepare for each other. Should be very, very interesting.
Kind of want to take the under on that game.
49.5, yeah, defensive battle. Give me the under for sure. 49.5 is a ton.
I mean, I could totally see this game being a 13-10 game.
Mm-hmm.
17-14.
Yep. Yeah, I think that you're right on the money with that one. That one you bet the under for sure. I don't know. Do you take Bama and 2.5 points too?
At home?
At home?
Bama home dogs?
Yeah. Georgia not looking like the Georgia we thought they were 2 weeks ago.
Man, I would.
Especially that, I mean, a team that struggled to score points against Kentucky's defense. Imagine just the Bama defense.
Oof. Bama's probably salivating right now.
Yeah.
I know we've been talking stuff, but the Rams have come back to tie the game.
Yep, what?
24-24.
Holy crap. What did they do? Just return a kickoff? I gotta watch this. I think they did.
Insane.
Wow. 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Stafford's got the ball. Oh, no, they just had a good return. They're at the 50.
Look at that.
They've tied the game and have the ball with 42 seconds left. Stafford deep.
Pass interference.
Pass interference call. They're in field goal range, boys.
Look at Kyron Williams' numbers today.
29 points in fantasy. That's non-PPR. Look at you. You did all that, didn't you?
23 for 83 and 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 receptions, 27 yards, and a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, he's having a day.
I need it, sir.
Cook on, Kyron. Cook on. Let's see.
I need that W, bro.
Yeah. Touch a little bit on baseball. We're getting close to playoff time. Lots of teams have already clinched their playoff spots. We've had some teams clinch their divisions. The Phillies and Mets in a prime matchup right now. Phillies are up 1-0, top of the first. So still early on in that one. I will say today that the Chicago White Sox have tied the all-time loss record with 120 in a season. And
they are bad.
Yep. They got 6 games left. So they're, unless they go on a 6-game run, they are going to break the all-time loss record.
That's crazy. But
their run differential is minus 320. Even the A's didn't do that last year.
How many runs have they scored?
They've scored 479. That is well below the next lowest, which is 596 by the Marlins.
Who are also terrible.
Yeah, they have a minus 223 run differential.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
That is just awful.
That is, I mean, still less than 100 or more than 100 run difference between them and the next worst team.
Look, Dallas has scored again.
Dallas trying to make it a game, it looks like.
It is a game.
And 28-24 with 3 minutes to go.
So it's going to be 28-25 unless they go for 2.
I'd say he kicked the extra point here. Keep it a 3-point game. Don't make yourself have to get a touchdown. Yeah. Damn, he fell on the coverage.
Was on him and just fell.
Yep, just fell. Could have been a pick if he stood up. Oh, he got turned around. That was his issue. Oh, well.
Yep.
Well, now you got some interesting games here. You got the Rams who've come back to tie it and are in field goal range with just ticks left on the clock. Lamar Jackson's got to come out and do some work now. It's a 3-point game with 3 minutes left in Dallas.
Sounds time for just give Derrick Henry the ball.
Yes.
Let him cook.
Yeah, just let Derrick Henry run out the clock. That's what you do here. Back to baseball. Yankees clinched the playoff spot. The Guardians have clinched their division. They will win the Central. Houston and Seattle are in a
battle.
Battle, I guess you would say, for the West. Houston's 5 games up. It's going to take some big-time moves for Seattle to overtake them in the division. They still play around and get in the wild card, though.
Who are the American League wild card teams at the moment?
So when you look at the wild card for the American League, you still got a bunch of teams all the way down to the Red Sox that have a shot. Red Sox are 4.5 games out of the wild card spot. Right now, the Orioles, the Royals, and the Tigers are all in the mix, or holding those wild card spots, with the Twins only a half a game out. Mariners 2 games out. Rays are 4 games out. In the National League, your wild card is the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and your Mets.
I know.
A team you were talking about wanting to sell. I still
think they should sell. They ain't going to win it.
And here they are. But, yeah, no, I get it. So, yeah, there they are. The Mets are right there in it. So, the Braves are a game and a half back of that last wild card spot. So, everybody else is eliminated from wild card contention, though. The Cubs all the way down to the Marlins there.
Wow.
Yep, so it's down to those 4 teams looking for 3 spots in the wild card. It would please me to see the Braves miss out on playoffs.
Of course it would.
Yeah, like it does you.
It does. It does.
Yep. Right now, the Phillies have clinched the playoff spot. They are 6 games up on the Mets. The Mets trying to decrease that right now in this set that they're playing. They did take the win last night, so it went from 7 to 6 games just like that. And the Braves are 7.5 back of the Phillies of the East. The Braves, with the win by the Phillies today, the Braves will be eliminated from the East contention. Let's see. The Brewers have clinched the Central Division, obviously, with the Cubs eliminated.
Yep.
And the Dodgers have clinched the playoff spot, but there's the Padres are only 3 games back of first in the West, and the Diamondbacks are still in it too. They're 6 games back in the West.
Yeah, odds are Diamondbacks aren't winning it, though.
No, the Padres have a shot. I don't know if they have a set with the Dodgers coming up. That would make sense towards the end of the year. They do. They have a set starting with the Dodgers on Tuesday. So that will be a chance for a team that's won 4 straight to get right back into the West conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really get into baseball. Like I said, I usually get in a little harder after the All-Star break because that's when stuff really starts shaking out.
Look at this crap.
I know. Game over.
Game over there. And the Rams have beat the Niners. Niners are now 1-2.
Uh-oh.
Brandon Ayuk mouthing off over there to dudes way bigger than him. I think that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Everybody in there is bigger than us. Look at McVay. McVay is hyped, as he should be.
He should be, because the Rams have nobody to throw to.
They got it done.
That's a big win.
They were down 20, what was it, 24?
24-10, wasn't it?
I think so.
It's Matt Stafford. Hell yeah, man. More props to him.
Matt, let's see how Matt ended up today. He had to be solid. Let's see what we got. Wow, just 16 of 26 for 221.
Yeah.
And a tutty. That's it.
Wow. That's impressive.
Tutu Atwell was their leading receiver with 4 catches on 5 targets.
Wow. Impressive. Shout out to Con in the chat. We appreciate you. We hope we are the best damn sports podcast out here. We try. We try, man. But we appreciate you. All the love to you.
Thank you, sir, for tuning in.
Yes. Yeah, this so now the Rams game's wrapped up, and we got the Ravens getting ready to wrap up. So we're gonna wrap up and watch this.
I think so.
All right, man. Well, another week in the books. We'll be back at it next week. More coverage, get you some bets and stuff to line up. Hopefully earlier than a Sunday afternoon, so that way we can get you all lined up for the weekend to lose your money like we do.
That's right. You can join me in losing all day long.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, until next week, my dude.
Later.
Later.